Living with diabetes, every day we're faced with different kinds of not knowing, often particularly uncomfortable kinds of not knowing. Whether it's not knowing what our blood sugar is going to be in the next moment and how that's going to impact our day or our plans or our long-term health, or not knowing, for example, like I don't know right now whether I'm going to be able to get my prescription on time or whether I'm going to not have a continuous glucose monitor tomorrow. We're faced with all these different kinds of not knowing, and they're really challenging. They're challenging to the structure of our day. They're challenging to our identity. They feel really uncomfortable. And we've been discussing that a little bit this week with the reel from You're Just My Type. But I'd love to give a different perspective on not knowing, on that discomfort, and what it really means about our lives and where we are. Because as we've discussed with a lot of the other difficulties that we face as people with type 1 diabetes, not knowing is actually a human experience. It's a human struggle. This uncertainty, this not knowing what's going to come next and how it's going to impact us and whether it's going to wash away the sandcastle of a life that we've built so far. It's just that we as people with diabetes get in much closer contact with it. And that contact, in most cases, is quite uncomfortable. It's also an opportunity. So there's a story in the Zen tradition. It's a koan, for those of you who have heard of koans before, but it's kind of like a both parable, but also a meditation practice. And so I'll share this with you. There's a monk who's wandering about, and he's on his meditation path, seeking for who knows what. Well, that's part of what the story is about. And he comes across another monk on the path who's maybe a little bit senior to him and sees something about this individual that sparks something for him. So he asks him, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And the first monk says, "Well, I'm on a pilgrimage." And the second monk, he says, "What's the purpose of your pilgrimage? Why are you doing this whole journey that you're doing? What's this about?" In a way, he's asking, like, what does it matter to you? What are you in it for? Who cares? And the first one responds, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this whole life thing is about." He just says the words, "I don't know," but there's so much in that "I don't know." It's so heavy. Just like when somebody asks us, "Why is your blood sugar off in this moment?" Sometimes I like saying, "Well, because I have diabetes." Of course, that's not what they're asking. They want something to blame, or, they want to say, "Oh, I could have done something differently." What's the purpose of your pilgrimage? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this life thing? I don't know. I don't know. And that is so raw and difficult and honest to not know, to be in this space of, I'm not really sure. So what is this original question asker monk? What does he say? He said, not knowing. That's really intimate. That's the most intimate. It's the closest to the truth. He says that's the most intimate that you could be with reality, with the truth. Being honest about the fact that you have no idea what's going to happen next. You don't even have the ability to be completely sure of why you're doing what you're doing. That's honest. And that's difficult. That's raw to be with. So in today's practice, we'll be with that in our experience. But I just want to encourage all of us, myself included, as I'm waiting to see whether I'm going to get a CGM tomorrow, to recognize not knowing, not just as an affront to our life and the things that we want to do, but also as an opportunity to step into a different way of being, as a doorway into a greater reality, a greater life, a greater truth. So this not knowing, all of these little not knowings, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing what the impact is going to be long term, those are little invitations. They're pokes. They don't always feel good. They're barbed. But they're little invitations for us to step into a much larger not knowing. So we'll practice with that a little bit today. So if you haven't already, you can find yourself a comfortable seat. Settle yourself in a meditative posture. And mostly let that be comfortable. You also want some amount of strength, maybe even dignity in your sitting posture, but mostly letting it be supportive to your body. If you haven't already, you can let your eyes drift closed. Just check in with what's going on with your body right now. Recognizing that you don't know what's happening with your body in this instant. You might notice certain feelings all over your body. Maybe there's certain parts of your body that feel more strongly than others. I invite you to say to yourself, I don't know what this means, this feeling. See if you can just release into that and let that feeling go and just be, not knowing what it means to feel this way or that way. And bring some more relaxation to your body. Let your muscles settle with gravity. Let your face get soft and heavy. Feel your connection to your seat beneath you, to the ground below you. Let yourself be heavy in that connection. Notice the rise and fall of your breath, and perhaps that's also showing you places you could relax a little bit more to let the breath be smoother and gentler. And just sit here one breath at a time. I don't know what this next breath is going to be like. I'm being a little curious about that. What could feel good for this next breath? It's going to be different than the last breath. This breath will need something different. Breathing to yourself gently, kindly, softly. In whatever way feels good to you right now. One breath at a time. And of course, by now you're probably noticing a lot of thoughts coming in. I invite you to say to yourself, I don't know what these thoughts mean. And just challenge yourself to really believe that for a moment. Try that on. Maybe you don't want to keep that lens afterwards, no problem. But for this meditation, giving that an honest try, believing these words. I don't know what these thoughts mean. Seeing again as you say that, can you relax into that? Notice that with each breath, your whole body is moving a little bit. And notice the shape of that body. Your body really separated from the outside by your skin. Again, as you have thoughts coming in, if they're feeling pushy, feeling sticky, seeing if you can just say to yourself, I don't know what this means right now. And relaxing into it, relaxing your head into it, relaxing your whole body into that. I want you to see if you can live for a moment in your skin, all over your body. Live as this outline of your body. And if there's something that feels like it's particularly sticky or plaguing you right now that you don't know, that you'd like to know, or an uncertainty in your life, try to invite that in intentionally right now and just see what happens within your body, underneath your skin, and even in your skin. What happens when I think about this? What happens to my breath? What happens to my muscles? How does it feel different? Investigate that, and where you feel tensions, you can relax them a little bit. But I invite you to really bring this, I don't know what's going to happen. Bring that in, even bringing those words in and seeing again, can I relax my body into not knowing? Can I let this bring me to a place that's more alive, more aware, more vibrant, more curious from one minute to the next? I don't know what's going to happen, and it's okay. You might feel some tension in your body somewhere, even just saying that. Be curious about where that is and whether you can soften a little bit there. Maybe some gentle breaths help. Maybe feeling gravity pull these tensions down into the ground. Maybe that helps. Maybe breathing in a sense of light and ease, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's okay. And start to drop the I. It's not even about I don't know. Just embody not knowing. Just I don't know, or not knowing. Saying this to yourself. Letting everything that you know drop away for just a few moments. They'll come back, don't worry. They'll come on back, but for just a few moments being free of the burden of everything you know. I don't know. And anything you know, you can just let it out on an exhale. I don't know. Every exhale. Breathing everything you know out. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. No knowing. No knowing. Stepping into this space of being temporarily free of knowing things, of locking them into your mind. Giving yourself space and time from all of this knowing, this certainty, this planning, this judging. Just to sit here open for a few moments. Responsive. Not knowing is most intimate. Not knowing is most intimate. If you want to soak up this space of not knowing, you can continue to sit here. We'll begin the process of coming back, taking some deeper breaths. Perhaps on an inhale, intentionally bringing some knowing back in, some remembering my name, the day of the week. My plans. You might take a moment to use your hands to feel over the surface of your body. Just know your body that way. And as you're ready, you can let your eyes come open as well. And see as you get caught up naturally, as we do, with knowing and not knowing and the stress of not knowing but wanting to know, see if you can just release into not knowing. Is that okay? Just to not know and to be here alive with what it is and to have to be responsive. Good luck.